Offside. Really? Yeah. It was a VAR and that offside. The action was offside.
Genuinely, that's, I was unaware of that. We hadn't been told that at all.
Your seats were not good.
Obviously you tried pretty hard to sign a striker in the summer, but do you look at it now and feel like, I'm not sure if we need one because of the extra fluidity you have with Phil or whoever plays in that position?
Sky, I'm going to tell you something.
Oh, really?
Arrive one day we're going to lose a game, so you're going to ask me if I miss the striker. I bet you whatever you want.
Well, I suppose me or someone.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't buy this question. So we make a mistake and we lost the game. So tight game, anything could happen.
What was the mistake?
Good morning and welcome back to We Are the South Stand, where I'm joined by my good friend Patrick for Man City Unplugged. How are you, Patrick?
I'm good. How you doing? I'm doing well myself. But how are you doing yourself?
I'm good. I'm enjoying this not so warm weather. Although today looks like the sun actually, although I can see rain clouds to the left, right above me, shining on my face is sun. And now it's blinded my eyes by looking.
Yeah, the weather is also very complicated here. I see the sun, but it's cold.
Yeah.
It's very complicated.
Happy rain clouds, but it's hot. But do you know what? Nitton has arrived with that morning positivity. Liverpool is going for 2 British record transfers, and this club can't even pay 80 million for Livramento. Good morning to you as well, Nitton. Nothing but that positivity.
Well, Nitton, you're going to be in more pain because first of all, Bayern bid about 70 million for Diaz, and Liverpool rejected it, and Bayern still want to come back for Diaz. They come back with more money. Liverpool want to go and invest that money in Rodrigo. So yes, you'll be in more pain. It is what it is.
But yeah.
What is Liverpool doing, by the way, Dubs? What exactly are they after? Are they just tired of being dominated? I think they're tired of being dominated.
I think they've got PTSD. But do you know what? I honestly, however much this is about, like Isak let's talk on Isak to Newcastle real quick. We are going to talk City stuff, don't worry. But Isak to Newcastle, to Liverpool, sorry, from Newcastle. For me, however much that is about, I do think if Liverpool, right now, Liverpool are the favourites. If Liverpool get Isak, then Liverpool become like severe favourites, yeah?
Yeah.
But let's just stop and look at this from a Newcastle point of view for a second. If you're a Newcastle fan, right, and, they've had the takeover, They had that season where they got into the Champions League and they didn't really invest. And ultimately, they went out the Champions League in the group stages. In fact, they had that season where they got Champions League football and they got to a final. They didn't invest well enough. And so their squad was way too small, which meant that, their players got injured. They had many, many injuries that season. And that led to them being knocked out of the Champions League, and it also led to them not getting Champions League football for the next season. Now, last season, Newcastle showed again that their best 11 can compete with anyone, right? Yeah. They look really good in the league again, but they didn't have as many games, right? They won a final, so they've won their first trophy together. For me, if Newcastle sell Isak, as a Newcastle fan, I'm looking at the project and going, what is this project actually about? I think Newcastle do need to. I mean, listen, as a City fan, I'm praying you don't sell him to Liverpool. But I don't see it happening. Look, if Newcastle have turned around to us and this is the truth, when Nitton is saying City won't pay 80 million for Livramento, I mean, if we're being completely honest, Nitton, from what we've read, that's not true.
Yeah.
City said 65 million, which is how you start negotiations, and got a response of, we don't care if you offer 165 million, we're still not selling him, right? So it isn't that we won't pay 80 million, it's that when we started negotiations, we got told it don't matter how high you go, we're not selling him. Now, if they did that with us over Livramento, I expect them to do the same with Liverpool over Isak, right? And again, if I'm looking at this, what do you think Isak's worth?
You want me to be honest with you, that those amounts people glaze him with of 130, 120, I think no. I think he's a 90, 80. Like even in this market, like he's not.
Right, bro. Really?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Right. Look, I sit there, right? I watch people all the time start him off at 130. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, no.
Me and you in different worlds.
I think your negotiations start at 80. Maximum you reach is 100, maybe.
Right.
But the 130s, the 100, where the some people were like, 140, 150. I was like, for what? What has he done?
Right. I'll be real. I'd go higher. See, this is the thing.
Higher for Isak.
No, because the most important thing with any transfer is how much does the team want him, right? The most important thing is how much does the team going in for him want him, yeah? And that's the same with any player. And how much does the team that is selling him want to keep him? Now, in this instance, I would imagine Newcastle want to keep him, right? And I would imagine Liverpool want him, which means the fee will be higher. Because if, like, as an example, if City go in for a player and don't really want him, right, then we'll go, well, we're only going to go to this much. And again, if the team that's selling him don't mind selling him, they don't really mind how much they get for him. But with Isak, Liverpool want him, Newcastle. Secondly, he's a Premier League proven goal scorer, right? Everyone says the biggest currency in football is goals, right? And Isak has proven in the Premier League that he can bag goals. Secondly, it's also how many teams are after him. Like now, if Isak became available for 80 million, then Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and multiple other European teams will be in for him.
Yeah, but do you know what's funny though for me?
Oh, sorry, if I'm Newcastle, I'm saying if you want him, 200 million.
I think the only reason why he's that amount is because he's at Newcastle. Let's be honest. If we're keeping it at 100, it's because he's at Newcastle. Because let's not forget, I know that Ollie Watkins is 29, but when Ollie Watkins was younger and he was bagging in goals, being second and close, nobody was telling me those amounts.
Ollie Watkins was not as good as Isak.
But he was cold.
Away from the goals.
Because you're saying you're looking for goals, isn't it? It's just that I don't get it. This whole 200, 140, for what? Even Haaland, when he was being sold, I was looking at 100. They were like 100, 110. But you can't tell me that. I don't know. It's just that the Isak is, you know what Isak is? It's an excitement, I think so. An excitement that there's a guy who looks great on the ball and he can score. That's the excitement. I think so.
I just like for me, think
if my negotiation table is not going over 120, it's not going over.
Well, if Wirtz was 120, 130, yeah, then for me, like as a proven goal scorer, you've got to be putting Isak at very least the same price. At very least the same price. Bro, and like I said,
how many goals did he score in the Prem this season?
It's also the fact Newcastle will not want to sell him, and Liverpool need a striker, and that pushes the fee up a lot. We will see. We will see. The one thing I will say is that, and I've seen a few people in the comments say this: if they want Isak and they have the money for Isak, if they don't get Isak, they're going to go in for Rodrigo. So Liverpool are not finished here. Yesterday I was very confident that Liverpool are finished in the transfer market. Maybe they might get. I think they still need to get. Do you know what? Liverpool is still probably going to get a centre back in this market as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they get Gahey. So,
yes, can I ask you something though? Based on this, so obviously this was his best season because he got 23, but I think last season he wasn't that high. So we're looking at Isak. What about Chris Wood, Mboma, and Wissa? So what are they? Because they also look like they're bagged.
Wissa bagged, but bro, right again. Are we, Patrick? The more shows I do with you, the more you're proving yourself to be a GA merchant.
No, I'm not a game agent. It's just that I get it.
So hold on. So who looked better last season?
I know.
In fact, no. Who looked better the last 3 seasons? Looked better, Isak or Chris Woods?
Isak. Oh, Chris Wood was just lovely. But the thing is, it's the amount. I don't agree. You don't go into 150 with me on that. No, even 130 or whatever. Even the 120, I was like, it's just the fact that he's at Newcastle. We're adding Newcastle tax. We're adding Newcastle tax.
But it's not just that, bro. It's not just that. It's the fact of how much a player is wanted by the club and how much the team want to sell him.
Yeah, you see, those are the reasons you're putting. But if you say in a normal world where we're just saying, let's go buy Isak. Yeah, you're buying him 80, 90. Yeah. You're buying him 80, 90.
Bro, look, if we're removing the fact of how much Newcastle want to keep him and how much Liverpool want him, then Isak's not worth more than Haaland, right? Simple as he's not worth more than Haaland. And Haaland, what do we pay for Haaland? 70 million, right?
Yeah. So how much is Haaland then?
But every transfer is different. Every single transfer is different because of length of contract left, and I'm pretty certain Isak's got a nice contract amount left. Every single transfer is different.
3 years left.
Yeah, so that's relevant to it. Liverpool need a striker. They do need a striker. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota. But with Jota passing away, they do need a striker. At this point, Newcastle do know that Liverpool have money. And of course, with Champions League football next season, Newcastle will want to keep hold of Isak. So look, this is where I'm saying it's the same thing. If they sent us away when we came in for Livramento and told us, you've offered 65, we want 165, then ultimately they've got to do the same thing on Isak. If Liverpool they put an extra 100 million on Livramento just as a back away, we're not accepting even 100 million more. If they're serious about Isak, they should be doing the same. If Liverpool come in for Isak and say they offer 100 million, they should say 200 million. And I'm not saying you get 200 million, but that's how you do the negotiations. How much do you really want this player? So anyway, listen, if they do get him, it's going to be a long, long day. But there are a few things to talk about with Manchester City.
Yeah.
And the first one, I want you to take with a pinch of salt, right?
Oh, you're taking it with a pinch of salt.
I want you all to take this with a pinch of salt. So yesterday on the show, me and Pulpy were in fact, let me just get this up. Super chat from Amar saying Isak is a better player than Haaland, 160 million minimum. I mean, ultimately, define a better player.
I don't accept that anymore. I used to I don't think so.
Bro, it's very simple. Define a better player, right? Because football is a game with multiple positions, right? Let me think of a good example.
What's a striker's job? Right. Just tell them straightforward. What's a striker's job? The same way they tell us about Salah. They tell me about Salah. They're like, job? Oh, yeah. Do you remember they used to say this? Job? I remember they used to say this. I remember I used to say this to Liverpool fans that Riyad Mahrez is a baller, but both of them are wingers, so he's better than Salah as a footballer. But then people used to come at me and say, but sometimes you just have to be effective.
Yeah,
just be effective.
This is the thing, and look, this season, I believe, I can't remember exactly, but this season, he's I think he scored a few more goals than Haaland, right?
No, he scored in the Prem. He scored one more goal. So he scored 23, one more goal. Haaland scored 22. Yeah.
Hold on. Right, perfect. So, and that is the first season that has happened. Now, if you then go and look at all of the teams that Haaland and the Isak have been at, right? They've actually had quite a similar come up, right? As far as, every couple of seasons they've moved on to a different club that's
both were Dortmund, by the way. One failed and left. Yep.
Or you look at the difference in goals scored, right? It's not remotely close. Now, here's the big key narrative that up until last season, Newcastle United fans wanted to run with on Isak, and any Isak fan wanted to run with. That Isak was playing for a worse team than Haaland was, right? Newcastle, right?
They were.
Right. Whereas last season, when Manchester City were completely dysfunctional, right? And Isak was operating in a Newcastle team that was very functional with probably the best midfield in the Premier League, wingers, that were getting the ball in, whipping the ball in all day long, right? With the first season, he got one more goal than Haaland, right? So to hear that listen, if you think he's better at dropping deep and getting involved in that, no problem. You can have that one. But as far as what a striker is paid to do, the difference between Haaland and Isak is by a country mile, an absolute country mile.
Too much.
Right, but appreciate the super chat. And I just want to read something out to you. So yesterday on the show, Pulpy and I were discussing 115 quickly. And we were just saying that it's gone very quiet at the moment. We thought that it was going to maybe come out in April, May, June, July. We still haven't heard anything. And I said, do you know what? To me, I get this little feeling that up until December, we were told City were kicking the can down the road, right? Trying to long it out. The trial ended in December, right? And we still have not heard anything. Now, that is no longer City kicking the can down the road, right? And I said, for me, I feel like it might be that the Premier League are trying to find a way to salvage something, right? Now, this is what I got sent this morning. And please, 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 take this with the same pinch of salt that you've taken every single 115 bit of information. But I'm just going to pass on. If I get sent something and I don't speak on it, then, you know, what's the point of me having a YouTube channel? So here we go. Apparently, City have only been found guilty on non-cooperation, a 3-point deduction and a big fine. But City want full exoneration. That's the reason for the delay, right? So ultimately, what that's saying is that that City have basically, same as with UEFA, very similar thing, that all City have been found guilty of is non-cooperation. So if I explain that a little bit more, what that's suggesting is that ultimately, same as we did with UEFA, we got asked to submit evidence, and Manchester City said, no, take us to court and we will show you court evidence in court. We've shown evidence in court that has basically said, yeah, the only thing they did wrong was they didn't cooperate from early. Now, for that, we would get a 3-point deduction and a big fine. But Manchester City have said, no. And I understand why they would say no, because if they say, okay, fine, then the media straight away will still come out with City found guilty, because we got found guilty of non-cooperation. Yeah. So Manchester City are saying, no, we want full exoneration of this. Yeah. Then went on, and the person that this got leaked from is somebody that is very well connected at the club, apparently. And again, I'm saying apparently. All of this is just what I'm reading it from my phone. City will accept the 3 points if they are given approval to sue certain media outlets and pundits. They won't sue the clubs involved as long as the clubs make public statements that City did nothing wrong.
That's
so ultimately, City are saying, I tell you what, if you want to give us the 3 points and find us guilty of non-cooperation, that's fine. But again, as we actually haven't broken any rules apart from non-cooperation, then we want statements from all of the clubs that have been fucking slandering us, saying, yeah, do you know what? Our bad. So ultimately, I'm not saying this is right, but yesterday, the fact that I said, this seems, why have we not heard anything? It does seem a little bit like maybe the Premier League are trying to find a way to get out of this. I think City are now going, no. We do not want any, I'm saying allegedly. Listen, I haven't mentioned anyone's name, so it's all irrelevant. But the whole thing is, at this point, it looks like Manchester City is saying, listen, our name must be cleared, right? Yeah, there can't be no media outlet accusing us of cheats any longer. And by the way, this is true. If we beat this case, we've beat UEFA and we've beat the Premier League. Everyone needs to just fucking do one. Yeah. Anyway, that is, take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not saying this is gospel. Does make sense a little bit to me is why we haven't heard anything yet. But let's see. I'll tell you what. if this does get put to bed like this, then Goldbridge, Football Terrace, Talk Sport, Wolfie.
Yeah, I was about to say Wolfie. Wolfie has to come. Wolfie has to come in a suit. He has to come in a blue suit. Find a blue suit, Wolfie. Find a blue suit for that apology. A blue suit, a sky blue suit, and sit there. And you have to make an apology. There's a list of people.
Well, do you know what on Wolfie's Instagram account? Yeah, so his channel's Instagram account. Whenever they say Manchester City, they put in brackets next to it 1, 1, and 5.
Is he doing that?
Yeah.
What? Okay, can I ask something?
Every time I comment saying you lot are bitter as hell.
Look, I remember when I was doing a preview for Man City versus Nottingham Forest, and I remember I had to dig back that we played. I don't even know we played, or we played back in the days or something. It was way before even the Prem page.
Yeah.
What has City? Maybe you know what have City fans done to Nottingham Forest for Wolfie to be that? Because Wolfie takes it deep. He takes it like I get other fan bases. There's a history there. Like I get Arsenal.
Yeah.
I know why Arsenal hate Chelsea and City. Especially they hate Chelsea because Chelsea came in, took that top 4 spot, started making them look small. City came in, took the top 4 spot, made them look small, and we started taking their players, and that's how we went to the rise. We stepped over them. I get why Arsenal, Man United, I get it. Liverpool, I get it. I get the whole Liverpool thing. Liverpool used to like us,
know what it is with,
until we dominated.
Forest, bro?
But Forest, what's the issue with?
So with Forest, it's ultimately because they did get. You know, they got last season. They got a point. Did they get a point deduction and a big fine?
Is that why they're bitter?
But the whole thing is like it's very simple to anyone that you know the way people always say, oh, why did Everton get in trouble? Why did Forest get in trouble when City didn't? And again, it's the same thing that because you lot went guilty, right? There's a very big difference, right, of going guilty and saying no, we're innocent, right? They said, all right, guilty, Your Honour, right? City not once have said, we're guilty, right? No, the minute you say you're guilty, then you can be accused of doing a crime, right? Yeah. If you say you're innocent, until you're found guilty, you're innocent, right? Yeah. And that is a simple thing. So when they say they went guilty on one charge because they knew they were guilty, right? We've gone innocent on 115 charges because we're saying we did fuck all wrong. I think it didn't help probably the fact that City rocked up at Everton and Forest last season, chanted one charge and you fucked it up and cheats. And us, we're doing it as banter, right? Calling them all cheats. And it probably then didn't help with Forest that I think what sent them over the edge was that semi-final loss.
Oh, yeah. But he was bitter before that, isn't it? Like he's a friend, but I found every time I came on the panel, he always threw that into the mix. I was like, what have we done? Like he is like into it, passionate. Like it's not even throwing. Like you can tell. But look, if that's obviously you're saying you're just reading information, might be true or not. But if that's true, because it's taking too long. I was speaking about the other day. I was like, what's going on? What's like they were so eager. Remember, like clubs were so eager. The Prem was so eager itself, making statement that this will be closed fast. Remember, the chairman was like, this will be closed fast. That was last year. And it's supposed to be January. It's supposed to be February. It's supposed to be March. They keep telling us it's going to move. We're going to July now, and we haven't heard anything. And the club keeps smiling. And the chairman was smiling when he was saying, I'm going to tell you about it soon, not now. So maybe it's true. And you know what? I would love that.
Well, the reason we spoke on it yesterday was the new kit deal. There is not a chance in hell that Puma are agreeing to a £1 billion 10-year kit deal, right? For a club that might be in the second tier of English football. But it's not going to happen. But I said this the minute we broke ground on that new stand and the hotels. Again, bro, just because you get planning permission doesn't mean you have to use it, right? When you get planning permission, you go, cool, we'll wait to see what happens in court, then we'll decide. Because, you know, if Manchester City again get relegated, we don't need a third tier and a hotel for tourists.
Yeah, you don't.
Right?
You don't.
We don't. Yeah, you don't need that in the championship. So for anyone that hasn't heard because you've just joined the stream, take it with a pinch of salt. It's allegedly, it's only a rumor, but I have been sent something this morning saying that Manchester City have been cleared of everything except for non-cooperation. Non-cooperation would lead to a 3-point deduction, and which I actually think on non-cooperation is harsh, because ultimately what non-cooperation is saying we shouldn't have to prove ourselves to you. Why are you asking us for stuff you're not asking everyone else for?
Yeah, that's
take us to court. So I mean, if you show evidence in court, personally, I think you should be found innocent completely. Like, because why have you brought me here? Why have you wasted my time bringing me to court for something that I have not done, right? But apparently City have been found guilty of that, and this is only allegedly, this is only rumours, and that currently City is saying they're not happy to take that and they want full exoneration, or alternatively, if they're not going to get full exoneration, they are going to, they need a statement from every single club saying, look, just to confirm, Manchester City have done nothing wrong. So City ultimately wants to get rid of that whole term cheats once and for all. Anyway, let's move on from 115. There is 235 of you in the house, only 97 likes. Please, let's get those likes up towards 150. It's really helps the channel, really does help the channel be pushed out to other people. Not only now will it push us out to more people, but once the show ends, it will push this out to more people. And then people can come along, watch the channel, subscribe to the channel. Nitin has said 10K followers by the 31st of July. That would be amazing, but we're nowhere near that. So listen, let's just get those subscribes up as well. Much appreciated. Right, let's move on to the rumours we have seen about players. And let's start with Nico O Reilly. So from what I read yesterday, Nico O Reilly has a number of clubs interested in him. Some in the Premier League, some in the Bundesliga. Separate article, and that's from Fabrizio Romano. I also believe that I've seen on another article that Oscar Bobb, Echeverri, and Oscar Bobb, Echeverri, and Nico O Reilly are three players that Manchester City would consider letting leave the club for game time. Now, clock that word in. That doesn't mean sell. That means leave the club for game time. So I think that might mean loans. But what do you think on Nico O Reilly?
It's not surprise though. Like, don't forget Chelsea were after him. Remember, we had to reject Chelsea.
Yeah.
The thing about him is, I always tell people he was built for the Prem. He's got the height, the physicality. Every time I've watched him, even when he's playing at the left back and he gets into that box or he gets into the middle, it's hard for people to get the ball off him. That's why I was telling you last time that I wish we can mold him into a Yaya type player. I think he's got the physicality and he reminds me of that sort of build, and he's got an eye for goal. I was saying it's going to be mad for us to keep him, because looking at him, every Prem team can use him. I kept on looking at the Premier League teams. It's like, you can use a Nico Reilly in your midfield, and you can use such a smart player with physicality in the midfield. So I'm not shocked that they're after him. Just unfortunately, it's not good news, because I know people keep saying, oh, if you guys want to be getting more players in, you're going to be willing to let go of the youngsters. Now, this is my issue. It's not just any youngster sometimes you're willing to let go. At this point in time, Echeverri, I'll say, okay, Echeverri is a baller. Go send him on loan, I understand. But the thing about it is, I am now becoming greedy on the English younger players we have at the club. You know why? Because when I sit down and think about it, I think I'd rather have a Nico O Reilly playing in my midfield than going to spend money on a Gibbs White or Morgan Rogers. Because I'm like, there's a lack of talent. I was talking about this on my channel. I was like, people don't take this on an offensive way, because some people think you're being racist or you're being offensive. There's a lack of talent in the English quarter right now. We haven't explored a lot. If it's not Adam Wharton, if it's not Morgan Rogers, who belongs to us, by the way, if it's not Cole Palmer, who belongs to us, by the way, if it's not Declan Rice, but he's already somewhere, Jude is already somewhere, Trent is somewhere, who else do you have? We actually have English talent in James McAtee, whether we like it or not. James McAtee is a baller. When he goes to the under-21s, trust me, you should watch him. We've got Nico O Reilly, Nico Lewis. these are actually looking like English talents compared to what we have. So should I continue at Man City as a club, or should we continue feeding other clubs with English talents like Nico O'Reilly and Rico Lewis, instead of just keeping them and trying to say, okay, if there's a difference here, I know Echeverry is a baller, but if Echeverry needs game time, I'd rather keep Nico O'Reilly, because if I send Nico O'Reilly on loan, teams want this English talent, especially right now. Everybody's complaining about the English quota in their teams, and the only teams that have got a lot of English players is like Aston Villa has got a bunch of them. If you look at Spurs, look like they're getting a bunch of them in. And look at Spurs. They're all just buying Adam Morton. They're looking for Adam Morton. They're looking for Morgan Gibbs-White. English talent is becoming a thing, Daps, right now. So I'm not going to let go of any English talent we have that even, let's say, people say has got the potential to become great later on. I'd rather keep them at the club. Because right now, if you ask any City fan, or if I ask people, can you find me an English talent we can buy right now to put in our squad if Jack Grealish and those guys go? Everybody keeps just saying the same names.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Right. You've just mentioned Tottenham. Right.
Yeah.
You can't compare City and Tottenham at this point, because if we drop our, what's the word I'm looking for? Our ambitions, right? Then you can compare us with Tottenham.
Are you talking about based on the English quota that they have got? Is that what you're on about?
What I'm saying is that there's a quality of players, and if we would have signed some of the younger English players or British players that Tottenham have signed recently, there'd be a meltdown in our fan base, bro, because they wouldn't be good enough.
When we have Madison, remember we're after Madison, and then Gundogan delayed to leave or something.
Madison's not good enough for City.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not inconsistent. He's very inconsistent. But you get my point where I'm just trying to make an example that there is a lack of English talent that right now, if you want to do the English quota, this is the reason why I tweeted that. I was like, I'd rather just keep Jack Grealish, because if I look at Jack Grealish in the market, I'm like, he's better than what's in the market. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'd rather,
I hear it with the Jack
market
Grealish
is not
thing,
great. The market is not great
because we already know, like, based on last season, like. Right, if we go off of Jack Grealish's performances last season when he played in the central role, we should keep Jack Grealish, right? Yeah. But ultimately, we're looking at it and we know that Jack Grealish will not start. So what would be the point, right? If he didn't start enough last season when we didn't have Reinders, when we didn't have Cherky, when we didn't have Rodri, right? There's no way that Jack Grealish is starting in the central role next season if Pep keeps him. Like, bro, if we keep Jack Grealish and Pep starts him in a central role next season, then I am demanding from Manchester City Football Club footage of the conversation between Pep and Grealish that led to that happen, because that would be the most. I don't know. Maybe at Oasis. Hold on 1 second. I've got to get rid of that wasp, or it's going to sting.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. So that's my point, guys. It's just Oscar Bobb, right? Nico O'Reilly, Rico Lewis. Oscar Bobb, Nico O'Reilly, Rico Lewis right now look like better. They look better and above the English. So if I give away Oscar Bobb, I feel like we've just screwed ourselves over. If we give away Nico O'Reilly, even Rico Lewis, who sometimes I say I don't really understand what he is I keep looking at them. I was like, oh my God, these potentials we have are actually better than what's in the league. And guess who's feeding? And do you know what's pissing me off? It's Man City that's feeding the best English talent to everybody.
Yeah.
It's us.
I hear you, but this is right. I hear you.
Yeah.
But right.
So you want that footage of Jack Grealish? Are you willing to pay money for them? Pay money to the club.
But the whole thing is, if next season, if Rico Lewis starts in midfield, Nico O'Reilly starts in midfield, right? There's going to be an absolute meltdown, bro. Let's be real about this, yeah. If we start with and. I understand why, because of their age. If we started with Nico O'Reilly in the middle, so Rico Lewis in the middle, Oscar Bobb on the right, McAtee and Foden, are we really thinking we're competing for the league with them?
That's a good English call, you know. That's the academy
bro,
team.
It's a great. Don't get me wrong, bro. It is
just the academy team.
But this is a.
Do you know what? You know, I wanted to see that in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup. I just want to say Can you just one day, Pep, just be mad and just give me the academy
Oh,
team and see if
bro,
we can play together?
this is one of my many frustrations with Pep has been that we don't see that. Like, we don't see that in the Carabao Cup, because I want to see that in the Carabao Cup.
Do you remember Nico Lewis and Oscar Bobb, whenever they play together, when Nico Lewis plays as a fullback and Bob at the winger, they have these 1-2s. Oh my God, they were quality.
Beautiful.
I remember there was a game, I was like, this is...
You can see they're on the same fucking wavelength. Like, bro, Crystal Palace away, season before last, Rico Lewis came on in the second half, because I think Vardy got injured, right? And Rico Lewis and Oscar Bobb on that left-hand side... Yeah, left-hand side it was. Oh, sorry, on the right-hand side. It was on the right-hand side, We're absolutely cooking Crystal Palace. Like, they're on the same wavelength. But they've come up in the academy together. They've played together. So, look, So what you're saying is, because ultimately, because of the squad size, certain players are going to need to leave, right?
Yeah.
Are you saying that you would rather Echeverri goes out and gets game time elsewhere for now, and we keep the young English lads?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm looking at the future. Like, I get the fact that Echeverri is a very big talent, but I keep thinking, I was like, as soon as I sent Oscar Bobb out, okay, I sent Echeverri. Look, I'm gonna, this is what the people are gonna be shocked with. Is I think we are feeding English talent to this league, which is funny, and then everybody wants them back, and we want them back. I think I send an Oscar Bobb, who I know, okay, look, I don't put Oscar Bobb and Echeverri far away. Yes, Echeverri, I put him up, but I think Oscar Bobb is also a baller. I'm sorry, Oscar Bobb, even people love him. Man United fans who are my friends, Chelsea fans say, this Oscar Bobb guy can be trouble if you give him time. I think I send an English talent out. Am I going to get one back anytime soon? No.
Yeah.
Echeverri, I can get another Echeverri out there who's willing to come in. And I think I would, but it's just that I'm just scared a bit, because I'm looking at the league, as I repeat again, Dabs, look at it. It's us who's fed everybody the best. That Delap was being everyone was fighting for Delap because it's English.
Do you know the other thing that's bad? The other thing that helps to promote what we're doing is PSR, bro. And this is where PSR needs to be looked at a little bit. That if we sell, right, so how much do we pay for Echeverri? I mean, just give me a ballpark figure.
I don't remember. Was it in the? I know 14 is Alvarez. How much was Echeverri? Let me check this out.
Check it out for me quickly.
Yeah.
Or someone in the chat will probably beat you to it, to be fair. The chat's pretty fucking shout out everyone in the chat. They're elite with this type of stuff. So someone will know within seconds. 12. Someone's saying 12 million. Captain Harris saying 12 million.
I don't know why he's been linked. When I'm saying he's been linked to United, what the hell is going on? It says City agreed 25 million euros. Okay, cool. 25 million euros.
Right,
euros.
So perfect.
That's euros.
So City agreed 25 million euros.
No, 12.5 million pounds. 12.5.
Right.
Yeah, 12.5.
So 12 million.
Yeah.
Right. So straight away, if we sell Echeverri, then what are we going to get for him?
No, you're not selling in Japan.
No, bro. I'm just asking a question.
At this point in time,
what I'm trying to say is, any player that we have paid money for, then ultimately, when we sell them, that's not straight profit on the PSR book. If we sell them, if we sell an academy player, that is straight profit. Every penny of it is profit. So on PSR, it looks a hell of a lot better, and PSR is very relevant. So PSR at the moment encourages clubs like City with good academies to sell their young players, right? It doesn't encourage you to keep your young players. It encourages you to sell them. That's why right now we are at the point where, let's be real, Chelsea are fucking building. Well, they've built a Club World Cup team on our academy.
And won it.
So PSR is just PSR is shit. It's really bad for that.
That's another thing is, like, everybody who's been fought for, who's English right now, as everybody was like, oh, we need our homegrown. That's why we're fighting for Delap City. Oh, we need our homegrown. Who do you want? Oh, Morgan Rogers, City. I was like, oh my God, you can't escape it anymore. It's just us. Yeah. We're just even German clubs. I was like, even German clubs are looking for English players. Oh, Marketing. Oh, there is O'Reilly. It's City is feeding the English, which is good. Yeah. But I find enough we're starving ourselves.
We are.
I don't know.
We are.
We are
And,
stubborn.
bro, I do want to see, like, we all know someone comes through the academy and they start cooking, right? It feels better than a player that you've bought. As a fan, right? Look at Yamal at Barcelona, right? The fact that he's come, look at Messi, look at anyone that's come through La Masia, right? It just hits more. City and Foden, it just hits more. That's why I think we are so, I mean, firstly, he's a great talent, but that's why we're all rooting for Bob. I do know on the Bob thing that City don't want to sell Bob, that Pep does not want to sell Bob. Pep has been very, very adamant he doesn't want to sell Bob. The only thing he would do would be if he's a little bit worried about game time and Bob recovering from, because we have to remember there's injuries, and there's injuries when you're 20 years old, 19 years old. That first injury can really harm you, and it has to be managed correctly, which will mean limited game time for Oscar Bobb this season. So we'll see with Bob, but with O'Reilly,
what do you do? What do you do yourself?
I don't want to. Right, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Echeverri, loan him. If it means that we've got, if it means that we can keep hold of Oscar Bobb and Nico O'Reilly, then I'd loan out Echeverri. And this is not anything I would loan him out, praying that we get him back. And I'd also be very selective with the team we loan him out to. I've seen Girona, right? I can't lie. I prefer the look of Leon than I do Girona to loan Echeverri to.
Because like at Girona, unless like Girona, do you remember what they did with Savio? They made it a must that the coach is going to have to find a way to play Savio because he's going to have to develop and shine. Look, everything is good. Because look, he goes to Girona, he brings them back up. It looks good, but Leon, I get where you're coming from, because he won't be favored. It won't be region that, okay, they can say play him, but he has to be more competitive. Because if he goes to Girona, they can just shoehorn him. He can stink and they'll still play him. Say, oh, City said we have to play him. But Leon can be like, buddy, you have to fight for. I think it's good to put them in a fighting sport. It's just, you know what? It's very difficult for me. It's just, I keep looking at our squad. I have tried removing players. And then I was like, if I start removing most of the international players, yes, I'm really removing very top quality players. And when I start removing the younger ones, I'm removing potential. That could be probably one of the best in the world, maybe later on. I don't know what you do. It's just whoever has this job, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait for this job. I can't wait to see what is going to be the solution, because I'll sit there and say, wow, you actually did that. And I think there's a disappointment coming. I think there's going to be Echeverri fans, maybe will be unhappy. There might be Oscar Bobb fans. Nico Reilly fans.
Bro, we can't keep. This is the thing, right? We can't keep everyone happy, right?
Yeah, we can't.
We can't, right? It's not possible. And people saying, here we go. Talking of people unhappy, he's going to be on the show tomorrow. Mr. Allen saying Ederson can go, Trafford in.
You and Trafford. Can I ask you something, Alan? I asked somebody on my show yesterday. Because yesterday I decided to just I was asking questions without getting involved. So I was just asking questions as if I'm a rival fan or somebody who's just from the outside. I asked them, I was like, is Trafford, if you sat here as a City fan and we're looking at keepers, there's a list. Are you getting Trafford because Trafford beats a lot of keepers that you can put on that list? So you're getting Trafford just because Trafford played for City and there's a bit of like sort of a heart thing that I want Trafford to come back and succeed. Compared to what's out there, let's say if you were saying I am the director, I'm picking keepers, does Trafford become number one on your list over these Chevaliers, over these Diogos? Like, do you pick Trafford over all of them?
Bro, I can't lie. Based on what I've seen, I want Trafford over Diogo Jota.
Is he that good?
Sorry, it's not Diogo Jota, over Diogo Costa. Over No, not over Chevalier, and not over. If Garcia was still out there, I'd rather Garcia. But personally, and look, I haven't watched enough of Costa, maybe, but it does seem to be a thing. When I watch Costa has bozo moments that I find similar to Ederson's. And Allison's here with Alan's here with keep the kids as well. We know Alan 100% is behind. I don't know. I think as far as a shot stopper, I personally think that Trafford is better than Costa.
Is Trafford that good? Is he that good though?
Listen,
Because look, I used to watch him in the academy.
Bro.
Look, in the academy, he impressed me. I thought he was going to be the next one. To be honest with you, the one who went to Southampton, I forgot his name. Remember that Southampton one?
Yeah,
What's his name? I used to like him.
the Irish guy. The Irish
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
What was his name?
Benzano, but Benzano.
Yeah, that's it. Benzano.
I think he put the gun fast. I think he was too rushed. Remember, they wanted to keep him, and he wanted to go. I think because he's such a
Trafford. See with Trafford, when people I've seen ones. Trafford is shit. Right? Someone's saying Trafford is shit. Now, look, it does not matter what league you play in. 29 clean sheets, yeah, in a season, yeah. You can't tell me a goalkeeper is shit if he is keeping 29 clean sheets, right, in a league, right? 29 damn clean sheets is a lot of clean sheets. He's a very good shot stopper, right? And then you go and look at, if you go online, you'll be able to find it, yeah? I'm going to go and look at City Extra in a second. Bro, watch him and watch how composed he is with his feet, bro. And when I mean, when people talk about goalkeepers with their feet, yeah? You talk about distribution, right?
Yeah, distribution, yeah.
I'm not just talking about distribution, right? You look at him with the ball at his feet, right? When players are trying to close him down, right?
He doesn't panic.
He's Ederson-like. He does not panic. And 1 minute he'll ping a ball. Next minute he'll just play a ball through the middle. Low ball through the middle. For me, from what I've seen, I like him a lot. I do like him a lot. My preferred thing would be keep Ederson for one more season, bring Trafford in as backup, and then we really get to assess Trafford. And it would be Trafford and Ederson are competing for the first place. It's Ederson's, but listen, if Trafford is doing wonders on the training pitch or every time he gets a chance, we bring him in, right? We play him in cup games and we see how good he is. That would be my preference. And then, do you know what? If Trafford does sink, then okay, next summer we go out and we spend 70 million on a goalkeeper or whatever we have to. You know what? Chelsea did it. Chelsea have gone through a few goalkeepers. But sometimes if you don't get the right one, when we got Claudio Bravo, we probably thought we were going to have him for a good couple of seasons as our first choice.
We did.
But after 3 months, we saw and said, nah, do you know what? So I don't know. For me, I'd be getting Trafford right now as backup, but telling him, if you perform well enough, you can overtake Ederson.
Yeah,
And letting Ederson know the same thing, because if Ederson is not signing a new contract, then we have to let Ederson know. Look,
and look at this news saying that Napoli wanted him, and it's just the fact that it's not financial. It wasn't financial. Maybe it was City outpricing him, but that was fab. But do you know what I'm tired of? I am tired of my number one keeper, by the way, being linked with clubs, and it looks like it's solid. I'm talking about Ederson, and then he's not signing a contract. That's why I agree with you. I was like, I would rather get Trafford or anybody in right now, because my keeper is not 100% with me. He's not signing the extension. He keeps getting linked with clubs. And the only reason why the clubs are backing out is because they don't want to pay the amount. So he is willing. It means he's willing to entertain all this.
He's talking. This is the thing. He hasn't signed a contract extension. There's been talks with Napoli. 100%. Look, it's one of those things where I think yesterday I said any rumours linking City to Rodrigo, City will not be getting Rodrigo until they sell a winger, right?
Yeah.
They would have to get rid of Doku or Savio before they even entertain any talk of Rodrigo. I think it's the same thing. City will not entertain any talk of buying Costa, Trafford, or anyone until Ederson is gone. And I do think, look, for me, if Ederson has 1 year left on his contract and hasn't signed a contract extension, that is the perfect time to go and get the likes of Trafford and bring him in as backup. Just look at the screen. Have you seen this?
We're going to end up in trouble, you know. Like it makes so much sense to bring anybody right now. Even I think the number one would agree. I think even the guy who is coming, even if he knows Ederson is here, he knows the writing is on the wall. He says, this guy hasn't signed a contract. And they've just told me that I'm coming in and I'm on a longer contract. I am good enough to dislodge him. And you have to teach Ederson a bit of a lesson. I know people will say, oh, why are you being ruthless? It's part of business. You are not signing the contract. Costa is here, Trafford is here, or Chevalier is here. You compete. If you don't want side extra, you can. Yeah.
We're going to look at this one, then we'll move on to the City Extra tweet, Nitin. Just quickly as well, has Chevalier gone anywhere yet? He hasn't moved yet.
No. They were just talking about him saying he prefers PSG, he prefers this, and PSG now I think Donnarumma is staying. Chevalier is still free, and people are like, Madrid want him. Madrid, there's no links at all. He's actually free. It's actually free to go after him. You know what? If I was greedy, I'd go after him on Trafford and tell Ortega and Ederson, go find a club. Just go find it.
So let's look at this tweet quickly from Blazing Mind. Ilkay Gundogan's brother and agent are in Istanbul to finalise the details of the player's transfer to Galatasaray with a 2-year contract. How do you feel about that? Happy?
I'm not buying any of this.
You're not buying it?
Because I'm going to explain. Ever since Gundogan and Bernardo Silva or Ederson, every time they get linked to Galatasaray, it's never Fab. It's like Gundogan. It's never Fab. It's never David. It's always funny Twitter accounts with an Arab name. No offense, just with a name, even with some Spanish name. You don't know who it is. I haven't seen anyone. I haven't seen Jack, who's one of my most reliable for City, or anybody link Gundo away. And at this point in time, I won't listen until I see Fab joining the gang or David.
Joining the gang, yeah. Fab.
I'm sorry, I want at this point in time. I'm sorry because there's a feeling inside me that wait a minute. If I'm Gundogan, right? I'm turning 34, 35. I'm turning 35 years old. City are paid. I'm one of City's highest paid players. I want to play at the top level, as I said. Why would I leave that easily if I have a trigger the 1 year? So I don't know. We'll see.
And a good one from City Extra. Perfect, relevant to the discussion. Man City want to keep Nico O Reilly, and there are no plans for the player to leave this summer. Pep Guardiola is very happy with the 20-year-old. So there we go. We're getting our way with that one at very least as well.
Thank you.
And of course, below the news about Napoli and Ederson conversations. Do you know what? I think there's a week on Monday is when the players report back for training, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I think that is the point where you really start seeing movements because, I think that's where meetings with Pep's going to happen, conversations with Pep's going to happen, conversations with Viana. Then you're probably going to start seeing people move on. Right, sorry, there was another super chat, I believe.
What do you think of that Gibbs White news? Do you think it's a bit cold from City? City have done that to players before, where they promise you that they'll come for you and they never show up. Remember the Eze was the same. They were telling Eze we're gonna come for you, and then they never showed up.
Bro, you know what? I think it all happened. The timing was right as far as, if you remember, this is when we were doing shows. We started off with Morgan Gibbs White and Wirtz, right?
Yeah.
The minute the Wirtz deal seemed to collapse, the whole strategy changed.
Yeah.
Right. The strategy changed. It was ultimately, it kind of does show that there is some sort of planning with this and balance of the team, and that it changed to, okay, well, it's definitely going to be Reinders and Cherky. So, and also you got to remember at that point, we were being quoted 80, 90 million for Morgan Gibbs White. So, to be honest, bro, listen, it's still, I'll say it now. If we got Morgan Gibbs White, I'm not mad at getting him now with the fact we got Cherky and Reinders, but are you happy with the Morgan? Would you take Morgan Gibbs White, wouldn't you?
I would, because I want to take him because what I saw in the England match, I saw him deployed as a two with somebody, with Eze, and they caused so much trouble. And Gibbs White, his pressing was causing Senegal trouble, who were so comfortable at the beginning with bringing the ball out from the back. So obviously there's no space right now. If we're keeping O'Reilly, we're keeping Nico Lewis and them guys. Gibbs White only makes sense if you are basically getting rid of, let's say, I don't know, if you're getting rid of Bernardo Silva, Kovacic, and Gundo, but Bernardo Silva is our captain, he's staying for a year. But do you still bring Gibbs White just for the sake of a bonus? There's another guy who I was thinking, Dabs, that I wouldn't mind for Eze to walk into this City team, but I was like, why I wouldn't mind, because he plays the wings and he plays them. But I was also saying that's been too greedy, though, isn't it? Just been too greedy.
But we then get, right, again, you bring in Eze, then who is that going to limit game time for?
The wingers. Well, the left winger.
Oscar Bobb.
The left winger,
well, Oscar Bobb. For me, look, the Eze thing is if you want to get greedy, but right now, where we are, we have to I do understand why right now we have to sort out the squad. Otherwise, and this is the thing that we all want to see these youngsters. Right. Patrick, you're a big fan of Doku.
Yeah.
Do you want Doku to be pushed out?
If it meant bringing somebody, I'm joking. I was thinking, the other day I said we have to get rid of Doku, and I looked at his age and looked at Savio's age. I was like, wait a minute. Am I willing to just bring a winger who's 27 or older just because I want to be happy that they finished Tactical? But if you look at the ceilings, maybe some of these guys we have like Savio and Doku they are very young right now. They're still talked about in the world as one of the wingers, but they're very young. Maybe they'll have a better ceiling than the 28, 27-year-old we're trying to bring in. The only one who I accept most times to bring in is Rodrigo, because people don't adapt. I used to think Rodrigo is 27 until I found out Rodrigo is 23. I was like, okay. But now I keep sitting and say, maybe have Doku and Savio because they're willing sometimes to sit on the bench. Is Rodrigo Eze going to be willing to sit on the bench, or they're going to cause a bit of chaos if they sit on that bench? I don't know.
Do you agree with this?
I always picked him. I think I picked him or Kovacic. I used to pick between him and Kovacic. Out of De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo, and Kovacic, I used to put Kovacic as number one to stay because I said, okay, Kovacic is hungry. Even though he's older than Silva, he's more hungry. He hasn't won a lot, so he'll have that hunger. Then it used to go Bernardo because I was like, if Bernardo is rested, he's still a great player. Then after that, it used to go with KDB just because it's KDB. Then you used to go to think. To be honest with you, I think regardless which of the ones you're gonna keep, all of them are gonna do something. Even if Gundogan stayed and Silva left, but Gundogan stayed with the bunch. It's just as much as you say. They always have to just be played with somebody younger. That's what it is.
Bro, the maddest thing is that it sounds insane, but I actually, and people, you're gonna kill me for this probably. And let me start this off by saying, alongside David Silva and probably Colin Bell, the top 3 best City players of all time. But Kevin De Bruyne leaving was probably the right one to go of the 3 first. Yeah. Well, it was from the contract point of view, right? But also...
And the status of the player. He's too big of a name.
Too good
that even if he's 37 years, do you know what's going to happen? The announcers will keep asking, why is KDB on the bench? You're losing. Why is KDB? It will always be, why is KDB on the bench?
It's a slander, bro. All of this right now, the fact we're even having this conversation and people in the chat saying we need to get rid of Gundo, we need to get rid of Gundo, we need to get rid of Gundo. I never wanted that for Kevin De Bruyne. Never, right? He's too much of a legend to ever have that. But the truth of the matter is, he was one of the uncles last season. And yes, he had good games, but he also had a lot worse games last season. De Bruyne last season had some very, very, very bad games last season, right? And it wasn't because... Let's remember, Kevin De Bruyne at times was taking shots and nearly hitting the corner flag. Right?
Yeah, he was. And his free kicks were horrible.
Bro, his free kicks were atrocious. Yeah.
Only one was good. I think the one that hit the post and went in. And that's it.
But we'll remember those moments. And it's good that he's gone now because we can remember that Crystal Palace game where he came back and dragged us, right? He did drag us. But for me, I agree with you that Bernardo and Kovacic, look, Kovacic the last 2 seasons has been one of our best players, right?
Yeah, he has,
He has. Now, maybe... it is the right time for Kovacic to go, I think. I
think Kovacic is due to the fact that there is Nico Gonzalez. I think so.
Yeah.
If there was no Nico Gonzalez, if there was no Reinders, I think Kovacic, you would say, okay, you stay. But you keep Kovacic, then what?
And by the way, so this saying, at least he had some good games, Bernardo was shit every game. No, he wasn't, right?
Yeah, he
You're
wasn't.
remembering Bernardo Silva when he was played on the wing, right? Bernardo Silva on the wing, yeah, poor, offered nothing. The back end of the season when Bernardo Silva was playing in a midfield pivot,
He was very good.
He was very, very good.
He was the one carrying the ball from defense. Everyone was struggling.
Yeah. People aren't remembering this because they're just remembering him as a winger. Him in a midfield pivot last season. Bernardo was good, right? It's a mad agenda against Bernardo. But for me, I personally would be happy if we keep one uncle.
Yeah, we have to, because at the end of the day, I get it. This is what I keep asking people. I asked people a question and nobody answered. I was in a space. I was like, guys, let me ask you something. Do you want to go full on rebuild? They're like, what do you mean? I was like, do you want to go full on where we get rid of every experience, even the defenders you're talking about, like the Akanjis? I was like, okay, well, let's go sell Akanji because people will buy Akanji. Let's go sell Ake. People will buy Ake. We're getting rid of everybody. And okay, you want to keep Diaz because it's 28, 27. Then you keep Josko. But I was like, you want that midfield clean completely because you're saying the midfield is the issue. Let's clean that midfield out of Bernardo Silva, KDB, Gundo, Silva, all of them. They go cover. They're all gone. The experience is gone. I was like, do you want to go that pathway, or do you want to go a pathway where you still have got a base that has a bit of experience? Do you get my point? I don't know, but people never answered me. Nobody gave me a direct answer which pathway they want to go.
So I think this comment is absolutely spot on. I don't see Cover as a legend like KDB, Bernardo, or Gundo ever was. Facts, he's been at the club for 2 years, bro.
Yeah, but that's not the one we're talking about, though.
No, but Cover was not part of the treble, so he won't. He was a good squad player, nothing more than that. If we want to keep Nico G, we need to let him go. I pretty much agree with that if this is part of a rebuild, it's time for Cover to go. Thank him and say, do you know what? For the 2 seasons you were at City,
incredible.
You were one of our best players, and I'll have that argument all day long. But I do agree. And the thing is with Bernardo, right? So let's say Gundo and Bernardo, right? De Bruyne's gone.
Yeah.
I think Gundo will be going this summer.
Yeah.
Kovacic, I think the injury might have hindered it, but I still think they would probably be very much open to bids on Cover.
Yeah, they will.
Bernardo has 1 year left on his contract. So Bernardo would be the one bit of experience we keep as club captain for the last year of his contract.
Then he wants Bernardo, to Benfica. Yeah.
He wants to Benfica on a free next summer. So I put my house on the fact that we don't give Bernardo a contract extension. He walks to Benfica next summer on a free.
The only way that would happen, but I think he wants to go to Benfica also. I think that's what's in the back of his mind. Even if he had an incredible season, I think it's either he walks to Benfica or some clubs start looking at, but he really wants Benfica. He's been talking about it for so long. And do you know what? My good friend Carl predicted all this. Remember when people used to say Bernardo's leaving? He says, no, Bernardo loves Benfica. I think the club will find a way to let him go for free one day, for him to just walk, and he'll walk at the age of 32. So Carl, big up to you. Look, he's about to walk at the age of 32. You predicted that. But I think
that's what happens, bro. It is what happens.
Yeah, it is.
It's what happens with City players when they get given contracts and they're allowed to go on a free.
Do you know what's funny, Dubs, though? Do you know people, we keep focusing on that midfield? We have a huge problem in defense because we have so many of them. And what's the solution? Because this team is not full because of the midfield. Don't fool yourself. Gundo and Silva can stay there. They'll be useful. But
Liverpool have got 3 centre-backs. You know, Liverpool have got 3 centre-backs. I was having this conversation with Monts yesterday. Liverpool have 3 centre-backs. We have 7. Look, I've been on most shows when all of the slander and all of the hate is for the midfield. I keep trying to pull it back to the defence.
It's a defence. For me,
bro, you concede 4 goals, you lose a game, right?
Yeah.
Our defence is the issue.
And we have so many of them. Yeah.
Yeah, our defence is... and by the way, I don't want to buy... I want a right back. At this point, I don't want to buy any more centre-backs. I just want Kuzanov to be given a chance. I really want Kuzanov to be given a chance.
I don't want to see any more centre-backs because we have to find a solution for what we have. Because if you think, look, so it's Diaz, Josko, Victor Reis, Kusanov, what's his name again? Akanji, John Stones, Ake. 7 centre-backs are at the club right now as we speak. 7.
Yeah.
Come on. At least 4. at least have 4 centre backs, or have 5 or something. 2 have to go somehow. Is it just me?
Yeah.
I think 2. Somehow we have to find a way to get rid of 2. Maybe the 5 because the other ones will be younger.
I know Stones is on the list. Yeah, Stones is on the list as one that City have said they're willing to sell. I hope the other one is Akanji, personally. But you know, we will see. We will see. That's a whole different conversation. We'll have that one tomorrow. Right. Couple of super chats. Firstly, this one's for you, Patrick. It's from Alan saying,
I saw the link. I saw the link.
What is it? Is it? What is it? Tell me. Because, bro, this guy, Alan, spends his whole day hunting for linking Trafford.
Okay, so guys in the chat, Alan has sent me a link to a video of the season that Trafford has had. It's a long video.
Perfect. Yeah,
it's a long
watch
video.
It afterwards. Watch it afterwards.
I'll watch it afterwards. Yeah.
Another super chat. This one is from Manavjit Singh. Sorry, Vathor. Apologies if I've butchered your name there, bro.
Lucas.
I've scouted Lucas Honricek, Sporting Braga goalkeeper. You scouted him, and what? You should have let us know. So, what was the result of your scouting? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Like tell us what was the scouting result?
Yeah,
what's your scouting
result?
Yeah,
was it good or was it bad? But yeah, well,
and is that you still having a Cristiano Ronaldo in a City jersey picture?
Oh, for real? Is that his picture? Sweet Jesus!
Yeah,
sweet Jesus!
Yeah.
God, remember that one.
There's a lot of answers. You know, look, everybody's saying the same thing, that we have 1 fullback and 7 defenders. Only in the Pep Guardiola team. This is what Pep was. Even at Barcelona, he had so many midfielders and less attackers. That's what he used to have. He always has a lot of something, and then less of something. Or hopefully the balance comes back, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've just seen someone say it in the where is it?
Kathy, the video is just Trafford. It's just Trafford 2025 highlights. So James Trafford, just go say James Trafford on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you get them.
So this comment, I agree with. Pep can fix the defense right now with the right tactics. I think ultimately the whole thing is, but I agree more with this. Pep's tactics are great, but the wrong personnel. I agree with him. Listen, we can't disagree with Pep's tactics because ultimately, both of you are right. Pep needs to decide, does he want to change his tactics and keep the same personnel? Or alternatively, does he want to keep the same tactics, in which case you need to change the personnel? Because we can't have no pace at the back and play with both our left fullback and our right fullback so far up the pitch, right? Can't do that and have Diaz as centre-back, right? And also have Diaz camping on the halfway line. Because if Diaz is going to camp on the halfway line and our fullbacks to be even further forward, we're just going to be hit after transition. That's where Kuzanov, for me, has to... For me, it's very simple. Kuzanov needs to be a starter, whether it be as a centre-back or whether it be as a right-back, right? Kuzanov has to be...
For what he's trying to play right now, because he's given so much freedom to Enori, right? So, by the way, this Enori thing, can't defend, is just a myth. He was defending his ass off at Wolves, who were getting attacked over and over. But if he wants to put Enori as a guy who is free to roam around, Daps is right. I say the same thing. You're going to have Kusinov in that defense, no matter if it's Akanji
100%.
Next to him or this. Akanji used to have pace, because I remember Walker was raving about Akanji, that when you have Akanji next to you, sometimes you can be free because Akanji has the pace. But I've noticed now, after that injury, him and Ake are struggling a bit when they're running back. But I think Kusinov has to be part of that defense. Even if people say Kusinov is not ready, he just has to run back. I don't care if he does a foul. He just run back. And you know what's going to happen? That puts fear in people. They'll be like, we can't counter them anymore. There's Kusinov. You get what I mean? Teams will not hop it over the top anymore. They'll be like, there's Kusinov. Yeah.
Martin was right when we were having the debate with Martin, and he was saying that City have always been open to being hit on the counters, right? And he's right. We always have, but we always had Kyle Walker.
So teams didn't do it,
You couldn't do it. Do you know what? I would even go as far as to say, in hindsight, if we were to go back and look at Pep's first season where we finished third, we didn't have Kyle Walker in our first season, right? We had an aging Zabaleta, an aging Sagna, an aging Kuzanov, and an aging who was on the left. I can't remember the other on the left.
Is it Clichy?
I don't know if Clichy was still there.
Kolarov. Is it Kolarov?
Kolarov was there.
Yeah,
But either way, our defence was aging, right? And I bet if we go back and look at the goals we conceded in that first season under Pep, right, a lot of them were in the transition. Right?
Yeah, Sanya was struggling. Remember, is it Sanya? He struggled. I remember he struggled.
Bro, Pep inherited a defence that was older than our midfield. Right?
It was,
yeah, our defence was mad old. The defence that but we brought in Kyle Walker, and hey presto, all resolved, right? Because he was an insurance policy, right?
Yeah.
He really was an insurance policy. And that's where the whole thing is not difficult to look at Pep. If you want to keep playing the same system, you need someone that is rapid in there. And that's Kuzanov.
Or you're going to have to drop it a bit and have a sort of a mid-high line. So like more get the defenders closer to that goal so they can respond, which you don't want because you want to pin teams back. So, Kuzanov is going to have to be there. Kuzanov is going to have to be insurance policy. Or if this was the case, Juma is very fast. Juma is being regarded as but he's gone on loan. So, Pep, if that's what you want, I think he's going to see it. I think
someone has to. Someone like, I don't know, one of the... And by the way, shout out to yesterday. Another thing we spoke on yesterday, me and Polpy, was Kolo Toure saying, is he going to stay? And it has been confirmed, which is good.
Do you think that's good for our defense, though? That is very good for our defensive players. Because you saw last time it was him, pictures of him coaching the defense. Look, to be honest with you, I'm just happy. I'm excited. I know a lot of people have been thinking... I have been negative. I'm just somebody who's always very hunting for questions. I hunt for things to just get questions, but I'm excited to see how we're going to go because everybody loves tactics in football, right? And we are all giving Kuzanov as the guy who can be our insurance policy until maybe we sort out a right back. If not, I want to see how we do. Do we outscore teams? I don't know. Maybe we will.
I'll be honest with you. Until I see Pep. Until I see this defensive concern, this transition concern addressed, I'm worried. I'm worried, bro. I'm going into next season. Like I'm excited to see Cherky, Reinders, Aitnori. I'm excited to see Bob come back. I'm excited to see a lot more. I think Marmoush is going to be sensational next season. There's a lot to be excited about. I have not taken away the positives from that Club World Cup.
Yeah.
But unfortunately...
There's a negative that is...
Bro, the big negative was in that last game that we were still so open wide in transitions. And until I see that addressed... Look, we have one friendly before the season starts against Palermo. If in that game I see Kuzanov starting, then I'll start to be more positive.
So you understand what's going on,
Pep, just show us that you know that there is an issue there, please, right? And the signing of Kyle Walker showed us that you noticed something. I need to see that he knows that without pace in that midfield, it's a big concern, bro. It's a very big concern.
Because you know what? Another thing, sorry for cutting there, but you know the other thing he has to do? There's a lot of solution to this. Even PSG, the centre-backs are not fast. Okay, Pacho is a bit fast. Pacho is fast, but he's not that fast. He's Ruben Diaz fast. The only reason why PSG look that great is not because of Hakimi and Mendes. Okay, Mendes sometimes once in a while drops a masterclass. It's just when the PSG midfield it's got full of legs, it won't let you. They will suffocate you with passing, but they also suffocate you before you get there. You've noticed that?
That's the other key. That's the other key is, you're right, it's the high press, right? That we've got to be. Someone just said we won't change the high line, and you're right. I'm not asking.
It's fair.
My whole thing is, I've said quite a few times, is I don't want to ask Pep to change a system that has been so successful, not just at this club, but at Bayern and also at Barcelona, right? Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and say, Pep, you need to change your system. Ultimately, he doesn't. His system works, right? But you need to change the personnel. You need to understand that, firstly, you need midfielders that are going to, and not just midfielders, you know, you need forwards that are going to press as a unit and are going to win the ball back from the front. Yeah. And if not, if someone does manage to slip through that, then you need to have pace at the back that is going to fucking mop up the pieces. And that is Kuzanov. That is Kuzanov. So,
because have you also noticed in most of these games, it's the teams, when they get through the front press, most of their players get the passes from the midfield. It's before they get them into the midfield. Gibbs White did the same thing. He got into midfield, then he did that pass. And then Cancelo managed to do a 1-2, got into a midfield position. So we have to make sure we suffocate them. But we'll see, man. That's what I can't wait. I'm the same as you.
You know what?
Yeah.
I've just seen a comment, right, saying he's fast, but he's not that fast about Kuzanov. So
he is fast.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Where is the video? Where is it? I'm going to share my screen quickly. And I saw this before we signed him. Let's hope that I don't get hit with any sort of bans, but let's play. I'm pretty certain it was this one, yeah. Watch it one more time.
Yeah, look at that. Look at him running. Why our other defenders are in front of him?
No, that wasn't even City. That wasn't City. That was his previous club. But he overtook two players.
Yeah,
right?
But did you see? There's another clip. There's another clip where he actually overtakes our own defenders and gets to catch somebody.
Well, do you know what? There was actually a couple of games for City where he came flying over from the right and backed up Vardiel and Diaz on the left, right? And intercepted the ball. The man is, I'm pretty certain from what I read, he recorded a speed the same as Van der Ven. And Van der Ven is rapid. So, anyway, right then, people, we're going to end it here. This is going to redirect over to Never a Foul, where we will be going live shortly. I'm going to have to put up with Liverpool fans going, no. So please go over there. Please go over there, back me up, like the video, get involved in the chat. Hit it up with South Stand Raid at the beginning, and we will be going live there in, I think, the next probably 10, 15 minutes. So go and grab a drink. Patrick, you got anything coming up? You're on mute.
No, not really at the moment. There's not really much after yesterday's show. I think that will feed the streets, so that's fine.
Perfect. You're feeding the streets. Perfect. You're doing the Rashford. And we will be live back on We Are the South Stand tomorrow morning again at 10:30 with Mancunian Way Goes South with Alan, Martin, and Patrick. Patrick will actually be in Manchester. Then after that, I'm heading up to Manchester to meet up with Patrick. But until then, I will leave you with this one.
Another time the waiting for me there, with a pint of their face, and a bucket of shake, and it keeps me going. Through me day and night, show me the way. Rugby's gone to the Champions League final. We're Man City and we won the treble. Greatest game you'll ever see.